off by introducing his brother Mark, the only relative that made it here today. All right, go ahead.
I'm not a good public speaker. My brother was a fabulous public speaker. I didn't prepare anything, but just I'm really proud from Gary that you all came, and it really meant a lot. And this was Gary's family, and anyone who couldn't make it, please say hello. Please stay in touch with his friends, and share his generosity and his passion, and just call up people, stay in touch with people, and if someone's not able to come to Christmas or 4th of July, maybe invite them or call them up, or just be like Gary, be generous and thoughtful and passionate, and don't just keep trying. And Gary lives on because he spread so many good things to people. And, I'm much better talking one-on-one, so anyone want to talk to me or have photos or maybe for coffee anytime, even if it's a year from now. But thanks everybody for coming, sincerely.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, next I have a group that are going to recite the Kaddish. We have Michelle, Michael, Julie, Maisha, Carrie, and Sarah.
Do you guys need the transliteration?
Yes.
Oops.
Are we standing up or?
Here.
Okay. Do you have it too, Carrie?
Are we doing the Hebrew first?
Hebrew.
Okay. Hebrew then English. Okay.
No, I have my
Well, do the whole thing together. We don't have to do the
I don't have the Hebrew transliteration.
I do.
Okay, I'll read you.
transliteration.
All right, ready?
Okay, now I have Marina who's going to recite it in English.
Glorified and sanctified be God's great name throughout the world, which He has created according to His will. May He establish His kingdom in you in your lifetime and during your days and within the life of the entire house of Israel, speedily and soon, and say, Amen. May His great name be blessed forever and to all eternity. Blessed and praised, glorified and exalted, extolled and honored, adored and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed be He beyond all blessings in Him. Praises and consolations that are ever spoken in the world, and say, Amen. Amen. May there be abundant peace from heaven and life for us and for all Israel, and say, Amen.
Amen.
He who creates peace in His celestial heights, may He create peace for us and for all Israel, and say, Amen. Amen. And for those of you who aren't Jewish, this prayer never mentions death. It's about life, and it's about life, and it's about keeping the spirit alive. So, thank you.
Okay, next, David Gorman would like to say a few words.
Thank you. Thanks.
I didn't really prepare anything because I wasn't expecting to speak. last of the events, I guess, around Gary. We've all been to private memorials. Many of us were at the very public one last week. Whether you're involved in planning it in any way or contributing to it in any way, there are all these tasks that have been associated with this process that we're going through. One thing that's been kind of scaring me the most is that this is the last one of those specific tasks. I know we're all going to be mourning him as long as we're here. We're all going to be thinking of him when we need an opinion, some advice, some counsel, or any of the things that will remind us of it. That's going to go on. And I think what's important about this event is that this is kind of the end of the official grieving process, the beginning of the personal grieving process that I'm sure we've all been going through. But I'm waiting to see how I react to this. There's not a thing to look forward to. The only other thing that's come up a lot last week, and a lot of even the articles that have come out since, this kind of refrain of what would Gary do. Keeping Gary in our minds is sort of a moral compass, place for advice, and I get it. And I think there's things we all know he would want us to do, whether it's being more considerate, whether it's giving more of your time to causes that matter, whether it's tipping maybe twice as much as you should. But I think that exactly. But I think the thing that's really going to hit me the hardest is, despite hearing so many people say, you know, just imagine what would Gary do or what would Gary say, and I kind of realized that was what I loved about him, and I had no fucking idea what Gary would say. When I came to him, as I did many times for advice, that's why I went to him. It was always something I would never have expected, a perspective I was too naive to have, and it was almost always the right answer. So unfortunately, that's something I can't do, is just carry forward asking what would he do. I kind of have to figure stuff out for myself now, which I'm not looking forward to. But like I said, I didn't prepare anything, so I don't really have a snappy ending here. But I hope this is the last time we all see each other. It's been one of the greatest gifts of this, getting to mark, getting to see people and reconnect with people I haven't talked to in years. And I hope we don't drift back away from each other and wait for the next one of these tragedies to come back together.
Next bill is Billy Hutz. He's going to say a few things.
Yeah, I didn't really prepare anything either. The thing I was thinking about on the boat ride out here is perilously close to, as near as I can recollect, I met Gary in July of 1974. So kind of almost made it to 45 years, or did, depending on where you draw that line. And like so many things in life, they don't go necessarily where you think they're going to go, but you go with them. And, you know, I'm going to, I guess, sort of make this more about myself, because, you know, we had an interesting ride together. We did different things. We were friends, we worked together, we argued together, we argued as friends, we argued as co-workers, not in a bad way. And as David mentioned, is those odd things where it's like, oh, well, yeah, I need to go to a restaurant. What's new? It's there. You don't get to have that experience anymore. And I was sort of thinking about, you know, some of us believe in an afterlife, some of us don't. What that, if it exists, what that afterlife is. And I remember when my grandmother talked about it. My mother died, and like in my grandmother's vision of heaven, was a place where you went, you got to smoke cigarettes and drink coffee and play cards all day. You know, and I guess that was her idea of heaven. I was trying to think what, you know, yeah, exactly, it is Miami. But you know, what an afterlife, you know, vision would be if, say, you got the 45 years here and you have the potential eternity and to meet Gary again. What you do? Would you play records? What would you argue about? You know, what would the vision be of causes and things that you knew you had eternity to solve? So the things that may take eternity to get there. So I don't know if I have anything that much more different to really add to it, except that I guess I'd look forward to that if it's there. And that's about it.
I feel like the afterlife like Gary's Christmas party.
I hope it's not good.
Lord knows there's enough food to sustain
I
everyone.
hope it's not good. I hope everybody stays in touch, especially at Christmas and other times. Even if it's just a phone call or records or whatever, just call each other. But all the people not here, please, everybody should call one of Gary's friends.
Are there other scheduled speakers? Could I say a few words?
Next is I'm going to open it up to anyone
okay.
who would like to speak or share a memory, tell a story. Whoever would like to begin.
I'll start. I don't know many of his friends. I kind of am not from the music world, but from the film world. And Gary used to be a VIP pass holder at the LA Film Festival, where I worked for the organization. And as one of the perks as a VIP member is he got, special, whatever. It was that year he got to go on the set of a Neil LaBute shoot. And people don't know, Gary was a real connoisseur around film and theater too, and writers and stuff. So we met and we instantly hit it off. For the first person I met who loved 60s soul as much as I did, and we weren't even watching Neil LaBute direct. We were just talking about music in the corner, and from that point on, we just went to movies all the time, and some music stuff, but a lot of movies. And at one point, I somehow convinced him to go to this meditation center where I would go. I practice Buddhism, and he was a little reluctant, but I kind of talked him into it, and he came. And the topic that night was anger, and how anger is a very destructive emotion, and it doesn't really serve you well. It's very harmful. And Gary's like, I disagree. Anger is what fuels my politics and my social justice efforts. And I said, I know. So that was kind of a conundrum for me, because I understood what he said, but at the same time, I'm being told, anger is not a very healthy emotion. So I asked my teacher, the monk, about this conundrum, and he said, it's not anger that fuels your friend's social justice, it's compassion. And I thought about that. I'm like, you know what? Gary was the most compassionate person I knew. And I'll never forget him. And I've been so touched. And thank you, Mark, for inviting me here and sharing.
Very well said, the speech.
Yeah.
Don't hold things in. Don't post things on social media.
Well, I'll add a word or two. Music for me was something that you listened to and you thought about. It was something that gave me a lot of contemplation, a lot of reflection. It wasn't something I understood how people could discuss. And my most striking memory of meeting Gary and his crew, which was Bill, which was Don Williams, which was Bill Wilner, the four, because I met him as a pack, was how freaking debatable everything was to them. And I just couldn't believe how much conversation they could get out of songs. And it was fascinating and impressive to me. I respected it. I was a little intimidated by it, and I tried to learn from it, because the old cliche talking about music is like dancing to architecture. That's sort of how I felt. I was amazed they broke that rule, and it was great to hear so many different opinions about something that mattered so much to me, which was tunes and music, which was everything I spent my day for. So I love that about Gary, and the fact that whenever I encountered him, something which was usually so difficult for me, which is conversation, would occur, just like that. And I love that. So that's my favorite and enduring memory about Gary and all his friends.
It comes from our parents. We love to debate things in the church. Politics, music. I mean, arguing was normal.
I certainly heard that from you recently. I learned it to carry on.
It's a Jewish tradition. It's true. Very being passionate.
Can I add something? Sometimes when you become in a middle age, you have strange memories and what over this one sentence or whatever. So one thing I remember, as I was saying to many people, I met Gary originally because after college, I would date guys in bands. And every single boyfriend I had somehow knew Gary. He'd be at every single party. Even if a guy just played a guitar, he knew Gary. And the mutual friends knew Gary. And there's this one quote that keeps ringing through my head. Robert Lloyd, who played at the memorial, he said, Gary would say he couldn't pet his cat and not also pet his dog because he didn't want the dog to feel left out. So that's how sweet he was, that he wouldn't pet one pet in front of another pet. He had so much compassion. And that just stayed with me. And when Mark and I met, we were perfect strangers. As many of you know, I've told the story, but he was like, why does he have Gary Stewart's voice and Gary Stewart's mannerisms? I don't even know him. And I said to him, and you remember, this is a weird question, but do you know Gary Stewart? He said, yes, I know Gary Stewart. He's my brother.
We were talking about movies, so.
Yeah. And we had such a wonderful time, the three of us going out last year to a dinner and to a play. And I actually wrote in my diary that this is a strange thing to say, but as we were sitting in the theater, there's this wonderful, pleasant smell of boiled macaroni. So it was just a lovely time, and I'm so happy to have met you, Mark, and to have had Gary in my life. And he was just a mensch, an uber mensch, and as all of us are here know, that he was just a lovely, compassionate person, and I guess ultimately an enigmatic person, but I know we all loved him, and we wish that he were here with us physically.
Thank you. Gary is all about preserving memories. His whole career. So you know, just think of Gary when you read a book or go to a play. You know, tell somebody about it. If they don't like it, you know, buy them a copy or invite them or treat them to something. And don't give up. Be passionate. It doesn't have to be the same thing as Gary, but I mean, if everybody was a little bit like Gary, the world would be so much better. And I travel around the world and I see the difference of LA and other places in the world, and really, LA can use a lot of Garys. So the rest of the world.
Well, the general, I was just going to say.
I'd like to do something together if everyone's done. I do this every year for my youngest brother who died almost 20 years ago. So the Egyptians have a saying that a person dies twice. They die once when they leave their body, and they die a second time when the world stops speaking their name. So I would just like to together speak Gary's name. Would you lead us?
Sure.
I don't know his middle name, that's all.
His middle name is Lee, so I'm very proud of Gary Lee Stewart. And I have stories that our parents would name us different names. James is one of them, but I'm glad they picked Gary. And he likes to be called Gare, as you know. Hi, this is Gare. I still have a voicemail from him. And you know, I love the name Gary. And we didn't always disagree, but we had some wonderful years as kids. And I really bonded with him the last few years of our lives. And you know, he still lives on with me. I still think about him every day and will forever, and that's part of the lineage of life. But we're very proud of talking about Gary. I've said, you know, some very bad things, and you know, I regret some things, but you know, I did love my brother.
So if we could say his name together, Gary Stewart.
Sure.
1, 2, 3.
Gary Lee Stewart.
And I guarantee when you talk to people, you can bring up his name and somebody will know him. I do that. Through 6 degrees of separation, there were old girls and friends I knew just, you know, I've talked to for over 20 years that I knew Gary, so you're going to know somebody connected to Gary.
Thanks to social media, a lot of people who never had the privilege and pleasure of meeting him know who he is. And many of them have told me that they wish they'd known him. And they're right.
It's true, yeah. Just when you see a cat and a dog too. When you see someone in the corner at the Christmas party, go over and say hi to them, or say hi to someone's mom, or be nice to their friends. You know, it's just really, you know, there's a lot of wonderful things I'm going to carry on from Gary.
Anyone else?
Actually, I want to say one more thing, Mark. I know this particular event, all of its postponements and craziness has been draining on you. We talked about that, and I hope, again, that now that this has happened, at this moment, I hope you can rest in peace.
Oh, thanks so much. It's been no sleep. I mean, I literally talked to easily 600 people. In some conversations more than an hour. So I'm sorry if I went off the rails, but I also did say a lot of nice things individually and listen to people and consult people like Gary. A lot of those people aren't here, but I'll continue to do that. Anyone wants to ever talk about Gary or see photos, whatever, I just hope, you know, hope you could all be friends of Gary's friends too.
We love you, Mark.
Anyone else? We okay? Okay. All right, I'm going to recite a poem then. Here we go. Alone I will not be. My comfort will come from the sea. The stillness of calm waves will gently drift by. I will be as one with the sea. When the sun sets on the ocean blue, remember me as I will always remember you. As the sun rises, go live life as full as can be. Apart you and me, but at peace, for I am free. We're just going to do small groups because we can't put too much weight on one side. Sorry.
God, it's both.
We'll all be joining you, Gary.
That's right. The life preservers, that was one of the discussions.
You could always come back here.
Okay, I invite you to throw your flowers whenever you're ready.
Mom and Dad would be so happy.
And Francisco is pointing out where the ashes are.
Seeing the flowers.
Where the flowers are? Yeah, straight ahead. And we're going to do the 8 bells, which signifies the end of watch. Yes, good.
It makes it better.
Ah, like a butterfly.
Thanks to everybody who brought the flowers. Whoever brought the flowers can raise their hand. Oh, thank you. There you are. I was looking for you. Thank you. That was very nice. You brought a lot of flowers.
There are a few more petals.